Magnolia Blossoms is our brand new collection from our friends at Knitwit, and Teresa has had a marvelous time. Now I've got 5 projects to share with you, so please come play with us. And here's the beginning of the Magnolia Blossoms. So we've got the 12 by 12 pattern cardstock now. Everything's in cardstock. We have the 6 by 6 pattern cardstock. We have the 12 by 12 solid cardstock. We also have the die cuts. There's 2 sheets. There are 31 pieces. We also have the chipboard, and there are 8 pieces here, just gorgeous. We also have a wonderful cutting die, so that's great. Now, before I get into Teresa's projects, I want to share this with our scrapbooking friends out there. Here's one of the sheets that Debbie did, and you can see that she actually used the plaid underneath, tore the edge, added some die cuts or cutouts, and just that's all it took. Just absolutely gorgeous. Now, with the chipboard, you can do what Debbie did here, and she left it unpainted, uncolored with these 2. Then she colored one, so that's just an option. But let me show you what Teresa did. So we'll get in closer just so that you get up close and personal with these projects. And this is obviously on a slimline card. Can we get in closer, Steve? And so that's where Teresa started, and she used one of the papers, of course. Now this is in the 12 by 12, and I put a post-it note on it because this is how it looks. You saw that on the first shot, and this is the area that Teresa used. So she turned it this way and used this piece to just trim an area to go on her card. And notice that she used the card as the mat for that particular card, so it just worked out really nicely. Then she went into the chipboard, and let me just show you. You saw it earlier. Comes like this. Now, there's always a project on the back of all of our packaging, but you know, we give our designers extra time to create these, and that's what Teresa has done. Now you can see the True Friends she used up there. She also used some of the Magnolia Blossoms, and she used the tri-blend markers, and you know that's a huge favorite of our design team, and just so easy to use. Now she used the True Blue, and with all of the tri-blend markers, there are 3 shades, actually light, medium, and darker, which is just wonderful. So Teresa started with the light on the outside of her blossom. Let me just kind of do a little bit right here. And she did leave them in the backing piece as she did the coloring. That's kind of up to you. You can do whatever you like. But just doing the light there, and then going more toward the darker when you get to the center, and just blend those. And you can do that with the medium, or go back with the light and do it just whatever you want. Actually, I guess I used the medium there. So, yeah, let me blend. I'll go back and blend with the light. So you just blend it like so, just bringing it, and you can see that it just does a really nice job as you're playing with this. Of course, the yellow-green is going to be in the center, and that's what she did. Now, let me set these inside, and you can see the listing of all of them down below in the gallery, of course. And also, she did the same thing, that blending on the True Friends, so just wanted you to see that. Now, there's also a glimmer, and I'm hoping you can see that. And Teresa used something that's just really a favorite of the design team. This is a, let me get it around here, and this is from our friends at Crafter's Companion. This is their Sparkle Glitter Ink, and you shake it up. In fact, if you don't shake it up, you can see all the shine back there. You want to shake it up, hear that bottle, hear that rattle, and then use a paintbrush just to brush it on, and you're going to get just a shimmer, and it's just really, really nice. Now, she did go into the blue ribbon set, as you would imagine, and wrapped that around the paper, and then she also just glued and zotted, because she's got this one down flat, this one is zotted on top, and layered them onto the card. Just really pretty. Now, she did put a blue button in here, And I do want to tell you that we're closing these out. So if this is something you really love, either grab it now, or if you already have it, that's great. Any blue button will work. It doesn't have to be the same color. And this is out of the cutouts. And let me show you what that looks like. So here we have, let me see. So here's that long piece, and it is right here. So you can see it's right there. And we already matted these for you. We're doing that with some of our papers. So in the comments, please tell me what you think about that. Do you like having them pre-matted, or is that a convenience, or is that a problem? In fact, always tell us what you think. We always want to know. So that has been cut, and notice she just trimmed it off the edge, so it went over the matted area. So that's fun. And then she also took another piece, this little guy, and turned it and just placed it right there. Now the inside of her card, she has taken this large cutout, isn't that nice, and used that as her piece. And then she did another of the cutouts. True friends are the greatest blessings, really right there. And then more of the chipboard that has also been that ombre colored, just really pretty. And with the glitter ink on top. Just really, really pretty. Okay, let's get into more. Now, Teresa did several cards this time that are really unique. Well, I guess she always does unique cards. But I have to tell you, I've never seen one like this. This is an easel card, but it is a vertical easel card. So when I open it, that's what happens. And if you want to stand it, that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so it's an easel card, but it's a vertical easel card. Really fun. Okay, now Teresa did just simply start with a regular card, and let me get this over here for you. And she did take the card itself, ignore that for just a moment, and she simply scored and folded this back, so it's just straight in half. Now, to make the little mechanism that's going to hold this piece, now this is actually attached, okay? How did she do that? Well, very clever. She cut 2 pieces of cardstock, and they measure 2 inches by 2 inches. Now, you want to make 2 of them. And she simply scored and folded it in half. And then she attached our friend, the extra sticky tape. And as you can see, she attached it on one side, both on the outside and next to the score line. So she did that on both pieces. Then she took one piece and positioned it as so. So attached it right there and then left the top part on. Now this piece is going to get attached exactly the same way, just like that. So you can take the tape off. Then this is going to hold our piece that's going to go on top. But before you get there, excuse me, you're going to want to cut out your paper, and she used this paper, and glue it right over this area, in fact, both areas. So that's what she's done. Again, the same idea. She's letting the white card be a mat. So that's nice. Now, what to do to glue onto this or attach onto this? This is what she has done. She has gone into the die cuts, I believe. Let me see. No, this is just into the cardstock. Okay, so she's gone into, this is out of the solid cardstock, and you'll get the measurements down below in the gallery. And she has used sticky specs to attach the doilies. You can kind of see one there and one here. These are 4-inch doilies. And Teresa finds that the sticky specs just do a really nice job of attaching them. You're going to see this in another project too, so that's nice. So you can see. And then she went in and used the daubers. So let me pull some ink pads over here. So she used the sponge daubers, and you know, these just slip onto your finger like so. And she went in and she used the Midnight Spectrum Noir ink pad and just inked around the edges of her chipboard and a little bit around the edges of her doily also, okay? So that's how she applied that. Of course, you can use the blending brushes. Teresa, in this particular project, decided to use the finger dabbers, and that's just fine. Now, what else is going on? Well, the dear friend is a chipboard, I believe. Yes, it is. Excuse me, it's a die cut. So let me pull that out. In fact, you can see it right here. It's kind of this arch shape, and that was glued in the center. So the doilies are on each side. Then what about that Magnolia? And that has been done with the cutting die that I am searching. There we go. And Teresa is going to do one out of cardstock, but she also did one out of our foam. So let me show you some steps for that. So I have already die cut it out, so you get the big piece, and did that out of green, did the flower itself out of white, and then did the other piece out of white. I didn't do the center because I'll show you why. Now, here we go. I'm going to bring the iron in. And this is our baby iron. You can use a regular iron. That works fine too. So when you place the foam, and did I show you the foam? This came out of a set that has a ton of colors in it. You can see there's there's 6 colors. You get one of each. These are A4 size, so you can tell that when I'm die cutting little pieces like this, it's really going to go far. Now this foam is very super thin, and it really takes of course, the die cutting beautifully. And what you'll do is that when you place it on the iron, it's going to shrink a little bit, and it's also going to curl. So here we go. Oh, great. It's not even warm. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's a great demo, isn't it? Okay, and I had everything so organized. Well, I guess we'll just have to take my word for it. So, okay. So what you'll find is that when you place it on an iron that's already been plugged in and turned on, it's going to curve and it's going to shrink a little bit. Same thing as I just said. And then what you can do, set that aside, is exactly what Teresa has done. So she took her green and she placed it right there. And then she attached this layer right on top, and you'll see it just matches quite perfectly, just like so. That way you don't have to cut it out and trim it. It's already for you. Then this piece, and you can see how the layers are kind of curving. What's really nice about that is that does not go away. It really stays. Even though this has been shipped from Arizona to Oregon, it's been in my office and slammed around, it just stays beautifully. So it's going to mail perfectly for you. So then she had this one on top, just following that, and that way it's going to give you the dimension oh so easily. This piece she die cut out of cardstock and then used the honey mustard and, honey pot ink on it just to add a bit of dimension. So absolutely beautiful, just gorgeous, and easy, easy, super, super easy. You'll also get the engraved parts out of the what the cutting die gives, so that's nice too. Now you see that shine at the top and at the bottom? That's with our friend, the thin line colorful Dazzles. Now there are 620 in here. There's 10 sheets, there's 662 on each sheet, and that she used 2 different styles and just did them against the paper at the top and the bottom, so really nice. These little flowers, well, that's more that comes from a cutting die, and that comes from our tiny flowers and leaves. So again, she is using a foam out of that pad, or that pack in the blue, and then also the green of that really pretty little curving branch. So that's what's going on. Now she did add, in the center of the tiny flowers, not into the Magnolia, but the birthday bling doodads, okay? There are these little crystals in that pack, and Teresa just finds great uses for them. Okay, so after that's been made, Then that piece, we're going back here, you'll pull this tape off and simply place it. And that takes care of it. And it's not going to move around. It's going to stay right there, and it will be perfect. Now, for the inside of her card, she has taken 2 other of the cardstocks. Now, one is from the pattern 12 by 12 cardstock, this one. The matte is from this, which is out of the solid cardstock, and you can see that she's placed it. And that border right there, that is a cutout from the 12 by 12. The birthday wish, well, this square, let me show you. It's right there. And what a neat idea, I think, to put one of the die cuts right on top. Just, you know, kind of a circle over a circle. I think that's really nice. And more of the tiny flowers. I love that curving branch. And another of the foam flower, Magnolia. And more of the little flowers. Just a repeating of the things. There's another of the thin line Dazzles going vertically. So really, actually fun. And as I said, you want to have this. This will be foam taped on because it's already dimensional. And what you'll do to have it standing up is just slip that right there. And it's just going to be really fun. Very different. A very special friend is going to love that. Okay, you ready for more? Well, let me show you. You know, Teresa's always surprising me, and this is another card that does just that. Look what happens when I open it. This pops up. Isn't that fun? And so easy to do. Okay, let me show you. You're going to take your 5 by 6.5 inch card, or whatever size you use, score in the middle of the front, and then bring that fold back, bring that outside edge back to the fold right there. So it makes this piece. Then, to make this little easel in the center, let me show you. You're going to start with a piece of cardstock that is 8 1/4 by 5. Then starting from the left, you're going to make 2 score lines, one at 2 3/4 and the other at 5 1/2. So you're really just dividing this into 3 sections. Now, this is going to be folded this way. So you're going to do a valley fold at the first one, and then you're going to do a mountain fold at the other one. So it makes this kind of zigzag. Now, Teresa used the 2-sided tape, and it looks like this. It's comparable to any tape that you can tear easily, and she really likes using that. And so she has placed it, as you can see, so against the, let's see, how can I explain this? Against the outside edge and also that score line. So it'll make more sense when we go to attach it. Now, these two are about 1 inch apart. Now, what will happen, let me make sure I get this right, after you put your papers on the card and after you decorate this, this piece is going to get attached right there. And that's why it had the 2 pieces of the score tape. Then this, the other piece, is going to get attached after the card is closed. So you're going to want to do all your decorating. So you see how that folds flat? Because you don't see the other piece until it is opened. Okay? So you just want to make sure that you're doing that. Okay, let's get into the decorating of the card because that's the fun part. Now, what Teresa has done, and let me show you the paper that she used. I've got it right here. And again, I've put a Post-it where she has used this piece. And actually, we're going to start with the one with the green on the back. So she has placed this piece and just cut a strip out of it. And yes, so she just cut a strip out of it. So wherever you like, that's your option, okay? Now, and again, that card is always doing double duty. In fact, that's true of all the cards. That card is doing double duty to give you a white border. That white matte is going to match kind of the white in the papers, in these beautiful papers. Okay, now for the inside of her card, she has used this sheet that has the blue background. And you can see that she just placed it right there and did her cutting. Again, the gallery is going to tell you the measurements. This little moving part, well, that comes out of the same pattern cardstock, and it's this sheet. And you'll just notice everything just works so nicely together, doesn't it? Okay, so you're going to cut those pieces. You see you get a piece here and a piece here out of that same paper. Then this one goes on the inside. So then you can position this little riser just like I showed you, glue it down. Then we're going to decorate it. Now, this time in using the cutting die, this is where Teresa has used the cardstock. So she has used the light blue out of the Magnolia Blossoms solid cardstock and the green. And you can see how she has cut them, or how she has placed them. Now, these also have a little bit of inking. So she went back to the Midnight, and this time she used the blending brushes. So the woman has all the tools, so she just uses everything. And just giving the outside edge a stroke, just to make sure that it's a little bit darker. And then on the green, she used the pine tree, again, to make it a little bit darker on the edges. So that works quite nicely. And then she has taken a couple of different things. Now, I mentioned before that she used the doilies, and she used the sticky specs to do the doilies. Now, if you watch our webisodes, you know about sticky specs, but just in case, some brand new people, and I hope there are, sticky specs are just amazing. The team loves them. And what you'll do is pull back that plastic and place your die cut, or in this case, your doily onto it, put the sheet over it, and just gently pat it. Then when you lift off your die cut or your doily, it already has adhesive on it and it's ready to go. In this case, Teresa has placed a doily right here. She placed another one right here. And the sticky specs are going to keep it just nice and flat all the way around. So if you like that, that's a good technique to remember. Now, we'll go back here, and Teresa has added some of the die cuts. This is Hello Dear One. Let me see. There we go. This is out of the die cut pieces. This is a heavier weight than the cardstock even. So right there. Then she added this border, and there's a border inside. And these come from a set that Teresa loves, and I have to tell you the design team loves them too. These are fancy border engraved stickers. They come in gold and silver. You can see the gold here. You can see the same one in silver. They're all in the same pack. And she just placed it across, just trimmed it off even with her scissors. And then the butterfly is from, let me see the name of it. It is Rose and Butterfly Engraved Dazzles. So again, they come in gold and silver in the same pack. Now she placed this on vellum, and our vellum comes in 4 by 12 sheets. There's a package of 10. I know this doesn't look exciting, but vellum is truly exciting. So she placed the sticker on the vellum, trimmed just around the edges, and allowed to just glue that center down, and so you get this really nice little fluttering butterfly that's just beautiful. Now the other thing is she added, I don't know if you've seen these. These are brand new from our friends at 49 and Market. These are called Royal Posies, and this is one of the ones. And Teresa also went back into that midnight blue ink pad and her blender brushes, and you can see she just blushed and brushed some color on the edges of the flowers. And that's, you know, that tells you that this can go with anything. What a great buy. Yes. So that's going to work quite nicely. So that's what she's done here on the inside. Same thing, except this time the flower is out of the yellow, out of the solid cardstock. You can see the same thing with the flowers, and the same thing with another butterfly, just like so. Oh, how pretty. Very, very nice. Well, what else has the woman been up to, you might ask? Well, here we go. Now this is using our 6 by 6 papers, and this is the first time you've probably seen this. And what Teresa has done is she has used this sheet, and I think in the paper pack it looks like this. It might look like that, I'm not sure. But this piece, even though this card is 6.5 inches long, she's going to use this, and then she's going to mat onto the solid cardstock, as you can see, and then that will fit nicely on this 6.5 by 5 inch card. Works really, really well. Now she also added more of the stickers that you just saw, those fancy border stickers. Isn't that pretty? Doesn't the silver look really nice with the blue? Just really beautiful. Okay, for the center, she has taken one of our fancy square chipboards. Now these are 3 3/4 inches square, and it has this wonderful little decorative edge. It's a little bit of something, but not too much, not overpowering. And she covered it with the blue paper out of the paper pad, and then inked the edges again. And for the inside here, this piece comes out of the 6 by 6 cutout. So you can see that piece. You saw it in an earlier card in the 12 by 12 version. Well, here it is in the 6 by 6. Again, it's already matted. The special moments, well, that's going to come out of our die cuts. And you can see it right here. We have all of these. These will just pop right out. So that's there. The circle of little things, that is a cutout. And the little square, the wonderful square, that's also out of the cutouts. Now she did use a ribbon out of the blue ribbon set, and you can see right here, she used one on the very first card out of the same set too, so it's the same thing. So isn't that pretty? I love how she just tied that around that fancy label. Just does a really nice job. Now, the inside of her card, you know, I lied to you. No, I didn't. No, yes, I did lie to you. Okay, this is not the fancy board, the engraved Dazzles. I take that back. This is the fancy border Dazzles, not stickers, Dazzles. So again, you're going to get a look. The difference is the engraved ones are on a white, on a clear material, and they have foiling on them. These are out of our regular material. Not a bad look, is it? Okay, the inside of our card, she has gone into another of the 6 by 6 papers and placed it right there. She's added the Dazzles on the edges, and you can see 1, 2, 3 different ones, actually 4 different ones here. So that's nice. This is a mixture of the die cuts and the cutouts. As you can see, she's just layered them all right there. Really, really gorgeous. I never kind of thought about putting one of them over in the white area, but I think that does just, again, a nice sparkle. Okay, are you ready for one more? We've got one more. And here is what the woman has done. Now this is really, again, different. Teresa and I talked about her doing these fancy cards of limiting it just to 2 per webisode, but she had already done 3, so we wanted to keep all of them. And this card starts out as a vertical card. Do you see that? But then when you open it, it goes horizontal. Isn't that fun? Just like so. Super easy to make. Okay, you're going to take 2 cardstocks and you're going to cut them both the exact same size, 9 3/4 by 4. Just 2 of them, 2 different colors, by the way, out of the solid cardstock set. Now, you're going to, from the right-hand side, you're going to measure in 5 1/8 and do a score line. Then you're going to make a dot. So measure from the outside corner in 4 inches, okay? Make a dot, not like that, just a tiny dot. And then you're going to score from that dot to the outside edge. You're going to do the same thing on both pieces, okay? And go ahead and make them both into a mountain fold, just like that, okay? Now what's going to happen is that these are going to get glued together like this. So those unfolded areas simply get glued together. Very easy. Then what's going to happen is this will make the front of your card and the opening. Also, Teresa has a pattern for us, which is always so nice. And the pattern is for the papers that are going to go on top of these triangles, okay? Let me bring the card back so you get a good look at that. This is in the gallery. It's if you'll click on this card and then you go to the supply list, at the bottom of the supply list it will say download, and that's where you'll find this. Okay, now you've got a blue top and a green bottom. Okay, that sounds odd, doesn't it? Well, we're going to take the papers and use them. So for the top, this is the piece that Teresa used. It kind of comes like that in the package, but she used this area to cut out her triangle. And because you're using the solid cardstock, look how beautifully it matches. So that's going to go right there. The one down here, that's going to go from this piece. Now you saw this earlier, but this is the piece that she used right here. So that just works very, very nicely. Now, this piece is going to be out of another piece that's right here. This is the back of this one. And she matted it on silver metallic. Now, our silver metallic is not holographic. It is just nicely shiny. It's 12 by 12. It's sold by the sheet. And that is what she put here. Now, it's just like any card that opens. You only want to attach this on, in this case, on the top of the opening piece, okay? Not on both of them, because you'll never get it open. So you just want to do that. And this are die cuts and cutouts that go here. Very pretty. And then now she has gone into the set of borders and corners engraved. So let me turn this around so you can see. Again, you get them silver and gold. So there's the silver, here's the gold. So there's the butterflies that she used, and they just go flat. The corners are in here also. They're another sheet, and so she's placed them. There's also some borders. You can kind of see them here, and that's what she's used at the top and the bottom. So everything comes out of this set, and that works nicely. Okay, now we're going to open it up. Just pull it like so. And you can see that she's used a variety of papers, some of which you've already seen. Others, see, you saw that in a 12 by 12, so she used it right there. She used this one in the center. There you go. And you can see the plaid, and the other one that was on the front was used right there, so works great. Now, she has used a mixture, as I said, of the cutouts and the die cuts, just a note to make you smile. She's matted some of them on a silver, just keeping that silver look all the way through, and then simply close it up like so. Very, very fun. Oh, Teresa, once again, you've outdone yourself, and we're very happy to take advantage of that. So once again, the Magnolia blossoms, there's the cutting die, whether you do it out of paper, you do it out of cardstock, or you do it out of the foam. We've got the die cuts, we've got the chipboard, we've got the solid cardstock, and we have the pattern cardstock in 12 by 12, my goodness, we're going to have to back up, in the 12 by 12, as well as in the 6 by 6. So everything is together, and my whole table is just a mess, which is very, very fun. We're happy to do that. Now, one thing I do want to share with you is that there is a money saver, of course. We would always do that. It's on the right side of your screen. I bet you're saying that with me, aren't you? As I said, we do want your comments, so feel free to post them, and we love to hear what you think. Don't forget to tell me about if you like the matted things that we've done on the cutouts. And if you're watching this on YouTube, come on over. Take advantage of the Money Saver. Take advantage of that download, as well as all the written directions for you. And once again, I will say thank you, Teresa. Thank you to the folks at Knitwit for providing this gorgeous, gorgeous paper collection. And thank you, as always, for being the very best part of paperwishes.com.